Morning everyone, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be guiding you through my hometown. Some will be very okay. Some will be hard. Alright, so anyway, don't scare me. I'm not a terror. Okay, America is freedom. My name is Paul Moua. I will be been in this country for 15 years in Missoula, Montana. The rest of my year I've been here. So I think I've probably fallen in love in Montana, I guess. That's why I haven't been here for so long. Well, first of all, the Hmong. Who is the Hmong? The Hmong is known as, what do you call it, probably Indian in China. That's according to what I understand. It's a long time ago. The Hmong were in China. Well, we were hunting by spear and crossbow and so on to survive, just like any other Indian. And for a long time, I don't know how this started, but since the Chinese come, the Hmong and the Chinese all can get along very well. And we have started a fight and fight. And finally, we're the one from Laos, but we're the one who lost the battle. So we finally escaped from China, split out to Laos, Vietnam, Burma, Thailand. All of this is neighbor country. And we are now with a number of smaller population in this neighbor country. And the majority of our Hmong people stay in China. We probably about still 5 million of people left over there with Hmong. And my brother just over there the year before last year. And we still communicate okay, but it's not fully understand, because just like us, we come to America, some of our languages are added to English. And we go to Laos and they have some of the language added to Laos. But we still communicating, still understand each other. And we the Hmongs know us very shy people, and they don't look at the face when they talk to you. Many of you might have parent conference with a Hmong student or with a brand new Hmong come to your class. This is what you will see. In our culture, where we understand you look in the face like this and talk, and it's not very polite. That's what we rather look in the floor and talk, but we also listen to you what you say. In this country, we're different. We're supposed to be pay attentionally looking and say yes sir, or this is what I get, and so on, but we kind of go opposite. This is kind of hard for us, hard for the kid. But anyway, this is what you see when you have a parent conference or you get a brand new Hmong student in your class, so on. But we do change so much. I can see, I've been here 15 years, I see my kid and some other kid. I can tell my little kids that you go in there and ask him for something, he would go. But in typical Hmong kid, just said, can you go ask something? Oh no, Dad, you have to go. I'm scared, I'm shaking. That's what a typical Hmong is. But I see the change. I'm from Laos, so I'll probably talk more Hmong in Laos. Well, the Hmong in general, in Laos is what I know the most. Farming, we slash and burn. It's not field. In this country, you could live certain place to farm the same thing over and over. in our Hmong life, we don't do that. We just move place to place, year to year. It's probably settle one place here for 2-3 years, no place to farm anymore, and then move to some other villages, some other places. This is not really steady life. And also, depending on the jungle, if the jungle's gone, then you move on down. So this is probably a new way to help the people back home to settle one place, to save some timber so we can have good timber to bring someone back here. The crop we plant over there is like corn, rice. We eat corn and rice we don't know how to make potato. And the country is there, it's not accept potato very well. We can plant, but it doesn't come in big potato, just a little tiny, so actually you just only know this is potato. It isn't good enough to eat. So it's not producing, I guess. Animal we raise just pig, cow, chicken, turkey, just like in this country, animal. That's what our domestic animal is. And the cow kind of look a little bit different. We don't have a nice steer like this country have because the habitat over there is not much, well, I would say it's the people are not raising it right, probably. The country is just too small. And a long time ago, our people were used some crossbow and so on to hunt. And so this is some of the tool we're farming with. This is the woman's tool. And the reason that how this thing curl like this, because when you cut something, this thing hooks, so it helps it cut faster. If you just get a straight knife, it will slide off and make it hard. And the man's tool is a big axe and big knife. And that's what a man uses. This is smaller. This is just to pretend one, but it's also make it longer for the woman. And some of the musical instruments from the Hmong, this is mostly for the young people. They communicate to each other. In our culture, we very rare to go in front and parents stand there and say, "Oh, I love you, miss. I love you, mister," and so on. You know, it's pretty weird to say that. So we use this thing instead, and we communicate in a certain way. And I know how to make a song. I don't know how to play, but Tuyang know how to play. He will play later. I just talk about how this thing used for. And this thing is a communication. Talk about something, how your heart feels to other people, and they talk back. And you hear some other people here, and they feel, oh, there's something good going on here. And this thing isn't a thing. This is we don't have no school. And back in a year ago, the children, the boys are growing up, this instrument is the first introduced them to learn. This is a show introduced, a show instrument. In the New Year's cycle time, whoever played this is very good, people were more likely to look at it, just like a good rock star in this country. So I pretend like I'm a rock star now. And this is also used for a deaf person. This instrument, everyone who is believing our religions, they use this. They believe that this thing can send the soul and the spirit to heaven. Nobody see that. I don't see that either. But if people believe me anyway, that's what I practice with. If you have been to some home funeral, you might see the man play this. They have a drum beat and certain beat, so on. And this thing, well, I can make it sound for you, but you know how to play. This is the sound like. And this can also have some trick. You play, you dance with this thing. Okay, well, we're back to my business here. Well, since we lost from China to Laos, some of the Hmong, we have two major Hmong, the green Hmong, the white Hmong. I don't have the picture to show the dress, but the green Hmong will have a skirt about like this short and have a one piece like this go in the front. It depends how they design, color white or some design color. Oh, over there by the thing there, you see some the green Hmong. Can somebody point to the one have a skirt just right close to the bus? Yeah. Okay, he'll point. The green Hmong is like that, and the white Hmong is point to one. The white Hmong on the top, so everybody can see. Well, we're no different. We only different the dialect a little bit, just like the south and the north of the English speaking. So we can understand pretty well to each other. And the custom, that's the only thing that we call. And well, some of our Hmong who escaped from China to Laos to other country, we do have a different of a practice add on the religion. When I'm saying that, like my tribe, I don't know how, but when we come, I think we probably have suffered so much pain from fighting on the battle. So the great-great-old parent or great-grandparent, they probably add that part of the religion's practice. When somebody died, they will play the bang and pound the house 3 times in the round, in the morning, in the afternoon. They say to fight the Chinese. So that's something so painful for the heart. So they said, even you live or you die, you're going back, your spirit's still going back to fight for your freedom. But some other tribe don't do that, because just like when we come to this country, I just give an example, like us, we come, we have so bad that the guy said, you got to give us money or they will shoot you down and you're going down the Mekong River and you're on the ground, you die. We give the money, when we finally come safe. And for example, my mother and father-in-law, they start off like 2,000 people and over 200 people or 300 people in Thailand. So the rest dying halfway, starving. Some can make it and going back home. So I would think that this part of my religion, where my clan comes from, probably one of the clan where suffer in the most bad people, and then the great-grandparents make that become part of the religious practice. So that's the part. And some other Hmong members, family don't do that. That's what I understand. You know. So we come a different time and have a different approach of the battle. And we don't read, we don't write. I remember when I first came, I see the electricity. I said, "Oh, so bright! My eye was gone." That's why I pray. You know, people say, "Oh, you look something for so bright, you might get blind from." I said, like this. We happen to be living closer to the border, so well, we're supposed to be just helping and reporting all of the things, but all of a sudden the plan were off, so we ended up fighting with them too. So first thing, we just probably just giving them the news about how the Vietnam, South Vietnam, North Vietnam, you know, so on, and watching the Ho Chi Minh Trail for them. But go on and on and on, then we started involved with the fighting, and then CIA have supplied arms and so on, and airplane, everything else. Then the Hmong have to stand up and to fight with them, and also Laotian too. So we happened to be fighting with the Vietnam War for 15 years. So in 1975, we finally, the American pulled off, so we probably the one who lost. So that's why we end up here. And during the war, we have lots of people die, and you might hear lots about why the Hmong have 2, 3, 4, 5 wives, whatever else, you know. And the men were not quite enough to fight the war. And then they have to raise more kids to fight the war. And more women left and less men. And somebody had to marry like 2, 3 wives. And like a kid 10 years old, 12 years old, I got some in the film here, but I don't know, I'd be able to find. We were like a 10 years old and they get long gun for carrying the shoulder, so on now, clothes turned down. It's hard to describe, but I think it's in the film here somewhere. I try to find out. Show you later what I mean. And we finally lost the war and come to this country, and some still there, and they will live, go into the normal life again, farming, doing what they have to do a long time ago, so on down. They have more school now. They want to be able to go to school and learn some, how to read and write. My time about up, that's it? Yeah. Okay. And I don't want to take everybody's time on here.
If you need to hunt on the video, we could do that during the break.
Yeah, I just want to, I don't know, I know how to work this thing. Oh, this is, okay. Well, I just show you a little picture here, show after the war in Laos, how the people settle and so on, and what mess is left in there. So just give you an idea how the war life is.
How? The people from your clan or the people that you go back to Samnu, or is that completely out? They've all moved down toward Vientiane? Or have they been able to go back to Samnu?
Oh, yeah, some people are still going back to their own hometown.
Really?
Yeah, because the Hmong believe you can go in the lowland, you don't fit with the temperature, the climate, you will get sick, you will die from it, and spirit don't bless you. And so that's why they go on the road. They like the cool elevation. The Hmong is a higher elevation people, and they believe if they live in higher, they won't, born and you get a fresh air more, and then you don't get sick more often. We don't have no doctor. We don't have a doctor, the babies, the deliveries are home, but the older people, the elder people help, so on. So that's for going on for years and years. Even now, still doing that. With the village, we're not reached a doctor yet. But I hope that this new government would give a little more. This is my stepfather. This is the one that they're currently here. He just came here about a year ago. He tried to escape Laos like 3 times. He couldn't escape. One time he was going to the Mekong River, and then the communists come over to shoot a rifle all around him and kill one of his son died. So my mother and he was separated for 15 years. He finally ended up with another wife and another kid. And his son died, and wouldn't allow him to go look at his son. They just throw in the river, and the river just floated the son out. And they tell him that now they dig this hole, and as soon as I shot you, and you were buried down there. He was crying, they throw him in trouble. He finally got a little digging out, but they didn't kill him, just scare him. And they throw him in jail for about a week, and some relative come free him out. And he's so scared, he wouldn't want to take a chance to come to this country anymore because all the clients come here. So we just said, come over. Try to escape one more time. He said, no, not this time. This is my second, third time. On the second time, I almost lost now.
Before the war, what type, you mentioned a king. What type of society then, was that a king over several clans or over a region, or how was the society organized before the war?
Okay, the king is just for the whole country. In society or clan, we do have a leader. We believe in a leader. We have, like this country, House of Representative District and so on. Yes. But in the clan, we do have a certain people in the clan, we believe in him and we trust in him. Then he was dealing with the community. Just like we have 5 or 6 clans in this community, and each clan have each representative on the clan. when we talk of something, then each representative will come to talk and to make a decision, and then going back to the plan. Then he will go on down to the state level and county and so on down to the country.
What made you decide to Missoula, Montana? What was there about Montana or Missoula that attracted the Hmong?
We've been living in a high mountain. We see lots of nature, and this is the country where we see mountain, we see clean water, the river, you go fishing, you go hunting, and so on. You have all those outdoor enjoyment and just more like home. And some other place you go, and less traffic, less accident. In some other city you go and you drive carefully. You don't know which hour and time that somebody will hit you. You're lucky you might survive. And so that's what makes it stay in Montana easier driving and so on. And last the people breaking the door, And so in other cities, according to what we hear, some people just park the truck right in the door and load your TV, load your thing, and you just stand in the back and say, "My kid coming, we run." They might kill us. That's what happened to our family. And some other bigger city. So just the older people just don't want to take a chance to do that.
And also at the beginning, I believe that because the United States government just tried to relocate all the refugees family into all over the United States, like Hawaii, Montana, every place in the United States. So the first time we just came out a couple family, and here they tried to sponsor their family from Thailand more and more and more. But at the beginning, just $300.
Well, I think I will add a little bit on that many parts too. This happened in the come to America experience. For example, I think the plan of the government in this country were planned to do that so people don't be grouping so they can be easy to work and to help the people fast that way. But it seems like there's some work good, some doesn't work very well. For example, like my uncle, he come to Florida. When he first came, he got two teenage kid with him, and somebody in the farm sponsored him. I would say the communication problem too, but they really get abused. They just let him. He lived in the farm, milking the cow, and he didn't get paid for nothing and so on. And he can't go into town either. He got to stay in the farm, work like a slave. So he can't use the phone. And one day he had to walk probably 2-3 miles to reach some kind of phone. And my brother here, he know the phone number and so on. He finally called over. So this some situation where it happened like this, and maybe the people back there scared, and the people in Camp Thailand now, some hear our story. Some hear that we come here when we die, they feed a snake, feed a dragon, feed a monster, whatever it is, and they say, "Oh no, I'm not going there." And some people have said, believing that we come here when we die, the autopsy is what is scared them. They cut your body up and then your soul won't be able to release. Now I don't want to go there. Some people believe all different kind of crazy, and then, well, I don't want to say that, but I think you might be interested to know. And they said that when you come here, they separate you. If the married couple are separate, the man go one place, the women go one place. So all of this stupid story here to these people to scare them off, and some truth, some true fact, just like I just mentioned my uncle. That's the truth. But it's not true. They still don't see how good this country is, how bad this country is. They still on a big question on them. So some people either rather stay in Thailand and to become a Thai citizen, or going back, or like that. When they come here, they want to make sure they got somebody they know, and they come straight to it and get some picture or some video proof that I'm still alive, I survived, I got my kid right here in my home. That's what makes it believing, and they say, okay, then I go.
First, I would like to start with the number of the students that are with the school district 1. In the school district 1, we have 54 Hmong students. Most of them came from large families. Hmong refugees have been arriving in Missoula for a number of years. So there is a big difference in their ability to speak English and adapt it to the American way of life. We have 3 Hmong students came to this country less than 3 years. The earliest Hmong family arriving in Missoula since 1976, and we only have 4 Hmong boys and 1 Hmong girl that are attending the University of Montana. These Hmong University students were the first in their family to attend college, and they have no role model. And in Missoula, we only have 2 Hmong fathers that have 2 years college degrees. Most Hmong have not had the opportunity for education because they came from a country which fell and lost in the Vietnam War. Our parents have no formal education. Most women spend their life working on the farm to support the family, and most men spend their life fighting in the war to protect the country. And also we are a minority group in Laos, so only the wealthiest Hmong family could afford to send their children to Laos school for higher education. And their studies were interrupted over and over by war, which destroyed their village and their schools. Living in this country, Hmong people know that education is very important for their children's future life. They wish very much to help their children, but most of them can't help with book learning and homework, since their children know more about formal education than they do. I would like to give you an example. For example, when the Hmong father in Missoula, he always expected his children to get good grades. And one of his 13-year-old said, "Yeah, you can't expect us to be like American students because we don't have all the help like American students have at home." So most of the Hmong parents, they don't realize that helping their children will make a big difference at school. Very few parents are role models. What they know is that when they were a child growing up in Laos, they're starting to learn what's around them by touch, signs, hearing, under the close watch of their parents and grandparents. Sorry, I have this shaking voice. Since 1960, 1 or 2% and about 45% of Hmong children are attending school in Laos. In the very early days, our parents were brought up to believe that when girls reach the age of 13 and 14, they should assume the duty to take care of the children and entertaining girls and preparing the daily meal. Hmong girls traditionally marry at a young age, usually 14 or 15. Once married, it was also a young wife's duty to know how to care for families, the husband's family as well as her own. And Hmong family, traditionally Hmong family practice extended family living with parents, in-laws, siblings, and all others living in one dwelling. I had the opportunity to go to Lao school than Hmong girls. Our parents used to say that boys are more important and smarter. But in this country, we all go to their school, so they realize that everyone is even, boys and girls are even. But most of the Hmong girls still feel like they're not smart enough to go to college. So most of them hope to finish high school and find a good husband to start their family after. Most children have very good skills. They were taught to use their finger at a very young age. Almost everything has have to be done by hand. Fields were cultivated by hand. Water was drawn by hand. And Hmong girls learn how to do stitching and embroidery at a very young age, like 3 or 4, when they're 3 or 4 years old. Since birth, the Hmong have learned to work with others, not as individuals. The Hmong were best in cooperative learning situations where they can analyze problems and share answers. So until 1954, we were without a written language. We handed down orally our knowledge and traditions from one generation to another. After 1954, the French missionaries put Hmong songs into a written form. So Hmong of our age are very interested in learning this form. Last year, the Refugee Assistance Corporation provided a Hmong class at night for the Hmong community. And the children were going to school 8 hours and attended night class 3 hours twice a week. They were enjoying seeing each other since not all of them go to the same school. The class were terminated because the federal refugee program could not be used this way. But now our school district will have the bilingual program, so the children can talk again. Hmong language is not as complicated as English. It does not have ending word. It does not have plural, possessive, or pronouns such as he, his, or her. Hmong words have only one form, and Hmong verbs only one tense. Here is an example. In English, you can say, yesterday he took his children to school, or today he is taking his children to school, or tomorrow he will take his children to school. In Hmong, we use the same word tense for all situations. Yesterday he take children to school, or today he take children to school, or tomorrow he take children to school. Tone is such an important part of knowing the meaning of words in Hmong. There are no breaks between words, no punctuation, no capitals, no beginning or end visible. I hope this will help you understand why Hmong students might write the way they talk. Living in this country, we are afraid that someday we will lose our culture. I interview many Hmong parents in Missoula, and they say that we'll lose our culture because many of our children don't have time to learn, and some of them are not interested in learning Hmong traditional Hmong culture. So I would like to give an example. Like one of the grandmother in Missoula, he said that she feel really bad that now all the Hmong children, most of the Hmong children refuse to wear Hmong New Year to the New Year. So she said that we'll lose our culture because things have been changed a lot. Most Hmong in Missoula have kept their traditional religion, which combines ancestor worship, shamanism, animism, but in the big city. I don't know if I use these 3 words right, but it's a big word, so I hope you understand. But in the big cities, like Minneapolis or Milwaukee, many Hmong families have become Christian. In June 1989, my grandparents came from Laos. They have problem understanding my brother and sisters because they speak half English and half Hmong. And my grandma said, coming to this country only 15 years and the Hmong changed a lot. It's not just the clothes, but the language too. And there will be no more Hmong in the next 100 years. So I think to myself that it's very important for us to keep our culture, religion, and language. So if you lose these 3 things, then I don't think that we will know that we are Hmong. Here are some of my observations gained through my own experience working with the school district 1. Sometimes reading is boring to Hmong children because they can sound out the word but they don't understand. And many of the Hmong parents, they don't read to their children either, so they don't know how wonderful written story can be. Hmong parents have a lot of children. Sometimes they don't have time to pay attention to each child, and they don't realize how their children feel. Teachers and the bilingual tutor together should prepare some materials for the student. Some teachers said to leave material up to the bilingual tutor, but sometimes what the bilingual tutor doesn't meet the needs of the student in the classroom. So I think both tutor and teacher have to agree on materials before helping a student. Most students just came from Thailand. They are very shy to eat in front of everybody because they are so used to eating at home with their children. So whenever the classroom have a party, it would be best for the teacher to pay more attention and offer the new student food because they are too shy to take food by themselves. Most of the new students have never been to a group or gone to school before. They are very shy to ask answer in front of everybody in the classroom. Mostly they would go up and ask the teacher. The reason why they are very shy is that they always ask advice from their parents, so it would be very hard for them to ask advice from another person. They'll get used to it, but it will take them a while. When Hmong girls are about 9 years old, they are very shy with their fathers. At school, it's the same way. It would be best to have a female bilingual tutor with young Hmong girls and a male bilingual tutor deal with young Hmong boys. This applies most of all to the new students. It doesn't matter to the students that have been to this country for a number of years. If a Hmong girl just came to this country, I used to think that it would be best to put her in a classroom where the teacher is a woman. This is because for my first years of school in the USA, when I was 13, I had a male teacher who never helped me. I sat for 1 year as the only refugee and only non-English speaking person in school. I was too shy to ask for help, and he never offered to help. Now I know that a more sensitive and caring teacher, male or female, would have been better. Hmong boys seems to be less shy than Hmong girls. Usually Hmong students feel closer to Chapter 1 teacher or tutors because they feel more comfortable and it's easier to talk to only one person. The students feel like the tutors and Chapter 1 teachers have more times with them. So if you see any of these problems, please feel free to contact the bilingual tutor or the parents. In closing, this is a story from my life. I want to give you an example so that you know how much a Hmong father wants his children to be educated. My father is not like most Hmong parents. My dad insists on speaking and writing English. Phone conversations, letters between us must be in English. Last year I went to visit my parents in Minneapolis, and my sister told me that my dad used a dictionary to check and correct my letter. And now I have used a dictionary to write him down. My father had some education in Laos. He attended a Laos school for 6 years. He worked as a policeman and moved on to work for the government. He also worked in Thailand as a teacher for 3 years. He speaks 5 languages. My dad feels very strongly about education. He said that in this country we have more chance to get higher education. And he said that he will keep going until he get his master's degree. So last year he got his GED, and he got his GED in December 1989. So this year he is attending the college with my two brothers. And he always tells me about my going back to school. And I told him that I have 3 children and it would be very hard for me to go back. My dad said, I have mine after you and I still keep going. I'm going after you. But, well, I think to myself that my dad is a man and I'm a woman, so women have to do more jobs. But I didn't tell him what I So anyway, last fall I decided to take a class because my dad always wanted me to do it, so I feel really guilty not doing that. So I took a class and I wrote to him that I took a class at the university, and he wrote back to me and he said, I would be very happy if all my children graduated from college. And but I tell you, it was really hard. Can you imagine a pregnant mother with 3 children working 8 hours and going to school at night? I was so exhausted and I decided to give up. And my dad called me in June. We talked on the phone and my dad asked me how many credits did I earn. I feel really guilty I didn't give him the answer. Before I leave, I would like to say something to all those teachers that I have been working with and to those ones that I still work with now. Thank you for being very nice and making me feel very comfortable in this school. And to those ones that I haven't worked with, hopefully in the future we'll meet. Thank you.
Today I'm going to talk about 3 or 4 different things that happens among the refugee community in Missoula. The first thing I'm going to talk about TH and single persons. A lot of the children today who was born in this country and grew up in this country, they're also Americanized, really more by American ways than the Hmong ways. This has created a lot of conflict between parents and the younger generation. A lot of young children today, they just try to become, they just try to gain their lot of power, or a lot of, independence. And what I see today, there's a lot of things, that happen to the refugee community in Missoula here between the parents and children. The children just too modern, too Americanized, and they don't listen to their parents anymore, and they don't respect their parents anymore. Where I grew up in Laos, it never happened in there before. Like from my age, no matter how old you are, even your boy or girl, as long as you're not married, you're still under your parents' control, and you have to stay with them. And you have to respect them, do whatever they like you to do for them. But in this country, a lot of, like my children, they are bigger than I do, and sometimes I'm even scared they will hit me. They are, they just leave. They just go wherever they would like to go, and they just do whatever they would like to do, and sometimes they don't even ask their parents. And what they do, they just leave a little note for their parents, and the problem is their parents don't read and write English, and they don't know what's going on. And then a lot of time they don't respect the parents. The parents ask them to interpret it for them, and they don't do exactly what the parents need, and the parents got very depressed and very upset. And then for the people from age 25 to 35, they seem to have less problems because their parents, got more help from those age of people. Like myself, I had 2 younger sisters, and a lot of time my mother just asked me to do things for her, and my mother didn't ask my 2 younger sisters a lot. And sometimes my sister and I would talk, and my sister said, because my mom loved me more than us, and I said, well, because you never listen to my mom. So there's a lot of problems between young children and parents. And for the middle-aged people, we have a lot of financial burden, because the language varies. I believe I have a lot of experience, and I believe that my age, because I was born in our country where we had a lot of war, and the war did not allow us to get any education in our country, and I only been in 3 years of school in Laos. And a lot of my age people, they didn't even, get to school either. So when they get here, they are all enough to, and they wouldn't be able to get into a high school or grade school, and they wouldn't be able to learn English like the younger children. So also the town is too old to learn, different language to get the right pronunciation, and then we have a lot of problems between the language and the society problems. And but we tend to have a large family, as 10, 12, 9, 10, and compared to the people in this country. Not only just that we didn't just raise our own children, we raised many of the children whose parents got killed in the war, like my husband's my parents, my father got a lot of little children who has no parents for my mother to raise. And also when I got married, when I was young, I always complained about my mother, and my father has a big family. They have 20, 30 people in the house, and I complained them all the time. But when I got married, my husband raised 3 children with, no parents, where his brother got killed in the war, and he had to take care of his 3 children. He adopted 3 children, and he raised them when they were little, for a long, long time. And when I got married to him, I was about 14 or 15, and I had to, that was my, right responsibility to take care of those 3 children as my children, right away as soon as I got married. And that was very hard. And then now I already had 3 grandchildren. I'm an old grandmother now. Because my children all got married, and we have past my own 4 children. We have 7 children, and when the first time my family got here, my husband and I, we had to support 3 or 4 of his daughter and our 7 children and my 2 sisters and my mother. So we have about 14, 15 people in the house in 1977 to 84. My husband was working very hard, 10 to 12 hours a job a day, and in order to get money to support the family. So, so we just have, not just my family had that problem. I believe a lot of the family who live in Missoula had the same problems, because they had, they went through the same thing like we did. And also, like Paul just mentioned, in our country, most of the men were soldiers, and they didn't have time to get education, and then some of the men were, was, let me see, when they served in the army, they were a high position. And when they get here, because due to the language barrier, they have to take a minimal job like dishwasher, janitor job. And most of the men, I would say, get more depressed than the women because they have more responsibility to take care than the women. And one thing that I experienced that the women learn faster than the men, like my age. When they got here, the women do more things, more activity than the men. So the men have a lot of things to concern about. they did not learn more than, So that's why we have so much problem going on in the community. And for older people, like my father-in-law, and a lot of the older people in Missoula here from age 60 to 67 or something, they are more depressed. It's worse than the younger people because they don't speak English, they don't drive, they don't have any friends, because the weather is so cold they cannot walk in the winter, and even they walk because we have small population, small group of refugees in Missoula, and some of them live in north and some of them live in south, and it's very difficult for the older people to walk back and forth to visit their family. So a lot of time, the older people, they just stay home. They don't go anywhere. Like my father-in-law, if we don't take him shopping or to, anywhere, then he stay in the house for the whole year. He doesn't see any place, because he's too old to walk and he's doesn't know where to go. And like in 1987, he got lost twice at the university. He's supposed to go straight from Russell to his house in North Strawberry Village, but he went to university and he thought that's the right way, and he got lost over there, and police brought him home, and he never go out anymore. And also due to the landlord's regulation in this country, they are not allow us to live 10 or 12 people in a house. So we have to separate the family into two different families. And then a lot of time, for example, like my family, my husband and I, we work so hard to support the family, and we don't have time to, get to see our parents-in-law. And then a lot of time, when we go over there, they just talk about suicide because they're so lonely at home, and sometimes they never come and talk to them, but they just use their hand, and sometimes they don't even know what that means, so it's very hard for them. But like my mother's, she's a little bit active, and no matter we don't go and see her or not, she just walk to shop, walk to Tidy Man, or everywhere that she wants to go, and then she just had less depressed than my father-in-law. And then also a lot of the older people in Missoula here, they just we try in our office, we try to set up a time that we can have the older people to get together and talk, like at least three times, once every 3 months. But that doesn't work because the transportation problem, and our refugee center cannot handle, all of that. Just have to go get each of them to meet. So that's the problems. And then a lot of time you will see that middle-aged people and older people has many different kind of problems going on. And a lot of time, but the younger people, they'll go and, since they have so many friends around the community, they'll go and ask for help. And then if even they don't speak English, they just try their best to, ask a lot of the American people in Missoula area are very nice people. They've been pretty helpful to the refugees. They help them when the refugees get lost on the road. They always take them home. You know, I've seen that happen many times. And I was really appreciated, you know, whoever did it, or all of your people who did it. And well, thank you very much, and nice to see you all here. I hope to see you soon again. If you have any question or anything, you can call me at the refugee center in the morning. I'll be there from 7:30 until 2 o'clock, and I'm glad to answer any questions that I know.